Hi everyone, this is going to be a complete English video. This is as part of my small initiative where we will have one English video every Sunday and this is week 1. So firstly, what is the objective of this initiative and what is the objective of having one English video on this particular channel? You see, no matter how much technical knowledge you have, no matter how much you know how to handle a particular situation, there is no point if you cannot express yourself, if you cannot communicate it properly. And definitely the communication happens in English on the high level, so it is better to improve our English as well. And this series also acts as a reminder to you every single week that not only your technical knowledge, you should focus on your communication skills as well. You should improve your communication skills as well, because what you say represents your confidence. If you're not able to communicate what you want to communicate, it means you're not confident enough. It gives an impression that you are not having the clarity on what you're doing. But on the other side, you are actually technically strong. You know what you're doing, but the problem is the communication skill. So through this series, my intention is all of us improve our communication skills. Maybe for me, my speaking skills, for you, listening plus speaking skills. Because the moment you try to listen to what I'm saying, the tenses that I'm using, the sentences that I'm using, if you feel they are helpful in your day-to-day life, then definitely you can use these as well. So it's a two-way improvement for all of us. So today's topic of discussion, or what we are going to see today, is stand-up. As most of you know, stand-up is the most important thing in our software life. Like in a given day, stand-up is the one thing that is going to be present every day. So firstly, let us try to understand how to give a good stand-up update. But before going to how to give a good stand-up update and seeing few scenarios, let us try to understand what is a stand-up, the purpose of stand-up for those who don't know. You see, as most of you know, stand-up is nothing but where all the people, all the stakeholders, project manager, scrum master, product owner, all the developers, testers, everyone come there and everyone assemble, or you can say gather, and they are going to discuss on the progress. They are going to discuss on what was completed, what is already done, what we are planning to do right now, and what is going to be done next, and if there are any blockers or if there are any issues. So the main agenda of the stand-up is to know the progress. So what have you completed? When it comes to the individual level, not at the project level, when we are giving our update, the most important thing to cover is what have you completed, what are you working on right now, what are you planning to work on next, and if you have any issues or blockers. For example, let's say, the major mistake that we do is we wait for the stand-up to come. Let's say if you are facing any issue, what I have seen or what I have observed is that a lot of people wait for stand-up to come and then they bring up the issue in the stand-up. But that is a wrong thing. Stand-up is not to bring up your issue. Stand-up is to discuss your issue. For example, let's say your stand-up is at 2:30 in the afternoon. You are facing one issue at 1 o'clock or 12:30. You know whom to approach. It would be good if you could approach that person even before the stand-up, tell your issue. Stand-up is the place where you should just say, I am having this issue and I have already discussed with him, or I am going to discuss with him based on his availability and such stuff. So the first mistake to avoid when you are going to a stand-up is that don't wait till the stand-up is going to happen. You can approach the people. You definitely know whom you are going to approach for this issue. For example, it has to do something with the testing team. You are going to go to the testing team and talk to them. There is no need to wait till the stand-up. For example, you have to talk to your lead. You just go to your lead and you ask him for his time. If he is free enough before the stand-up, you are going to discuss before the stand-up. If he says post stand-up during some time, you can discuss then. So first most important thing, don't wait till the stand-up to come. If you have an issue, immediately reach out to people. Because what I have observed, when you keep on waiting and then you go to your stand-up, then definitely there's going to be a question. If you are already facing the issue, then why didn't you bring it up, and why are you waiting till the stand-up is going to come? So that is the first most important thing. Next thing, let's say you are not able to say your stand-up update properly. How can you improve your stand-up update, the way you say your stand-up update? You see, stand-up update is a combination of 3 things, as I have told you. What you have already completed, what you are working on right now, what you are planning to do, any blockers or issues. So you know what you are working on. The only thing is the sentence structure. And quite honestly, there is no need for any complex vocabulary to be there. The only thing of a stand-up is progress. They don't see how you communicate, how you say, it's not about the language or the high-end vocabulary you use. They only say if you are able to update to the team, everybody is able to get clarity on what you want to say or not. So basic English is sufficient. You can create a template for yourself. So let's see what is a good template in the upcoming part, but let's try to understand first how to avoid the issue of where you are not able to say a proper update. You can open your notepad or take a notebook, just write what you have done, what you are planning to do, what you are currently working on, if there is any issue or blocker. So if you write this thing, when you are saying your update, you can just look at there and you can just tell. So make it a habit of writing your stand-up update as long as you are struggling to tell your stand-up update. So once you get habituated to writing your stand-up update and telling them, in future you will not require it for sure. Third most important thing, a good practice in the stand-up update when you are planning to take any kind of leave in the future, planned leave in the future, just keep your team informed. Let's say 1 week before, you just tell them, next week I'm going to be on leave 3 days. Next week I am going to be on leave. I want you to observe the tense and the sentence I am constructing. That is the main objective of this video and the main aim of this video. You should notice the tense and the sentence. Next week I am going to be on leave. It is something in the future. So you should always use your future tense. So I'm going to be on leave for 3 days and these are the 3 days. So whenever you are going to go on a leave, so just tell them beforehand. So most important three things are, you see, 3 things plural. So you should not use is, 3 things are. So the first thing, stand-up is not the place where you should bring your issue. It is a place where you discuss your issue. If required, you should just highlight it, but you should not wait until the stand-up is going to happen. Second thing, if you are not able to say your stand-up update properly, just write it in a book and you can use it while telling your stand-up update. And the third thing, when you are going to take a leave, just tell them beforehand. It's a good habit to always keep people informed in a stand-up so that all the relevant stakeholders like your manager, product owner, everybody, it will also be helpful for your planning. So now, next thing, we have understood what are the 3 important things in a stand-up, 3 good practices in the stand-up. So let us understand how to give a basic stand-up update, basic proper stand-up update, not using much vocabulary, simple stand-up update. So first thing, what did I tell you? I told you that in a stand-up, you should tell what are you working on, what you have completed, what you are planning to do, and if you have any issues or blockers. Now, when you have some issues or blockers, what is important is to not just tell, I have this issue, I have this blocker. It is also important to tell, how are you planning to resolve that issue? Means, have you already connected with someone? Have you asked someone? Did you ask for their availability? Is a meeting already scheduled to discuss this issue? This is what is important. If you simply say, I am facing this issue, that is not good, because your manager is again going to come and ask you, who are you planning to approach? So it is better you take a step ahead and you just tell him. You already know the person whom you want to meet or talk. So you just tell him, I've already discussed with him. So first most important thing, the basic format of a stand-up update. Let's say you are working on one feature. What you want to say? You are working now. I am working on feature 1. Simple. I am working on feature 1, which means right now you are working on that particular feature. And you also want to say what you have completed. Let's say afternoon your stand-up is there, something you have completed in the morning, then you have started with this. So I have completed task 1, task 2 of feature 2. I have completed, because it is already done, right? It is in the past. So you have to say I have completed task 1, task 2 of feature 2. Now let's say you are working on something. It is only going to take 1 hour more for your current task to complete. So next you have to pick up some task. So what do you need to say at that time is, I am planning to work on feature 3. I am planning to work on task 3. Means you're planning to do that in future. You have not completed it. You are not working on it. You are planning to do in future. So if it is already done, you just simply say, I have completed, or it is done. Task 1 and task 2 are completed. If you want to say, what are you working on right now? I am working on so and so feature. And if you want to refer to something in the future which you are planning to do, I am planning to work on this particular task. I am planning to do in the future. So this is a basic sample update. Now there can be multiple scenarios. For example, let's say there is an issue or a blocker. For example, you are working on something, you face one issue, which is a very common thing. Now, let's say you have one issue, you have already reached out to your lead for a resolution or a suggestion on how this issue can be fixed. Now you need to give that as a stand-up update. In your stand-up update, you need to say, I already spoke to him. and we are going to discuss the issue, or it is already fixed, something like that. So let's take this scenario. So what are you going to say? You need to refer to what you are doing right now. I am working on feature 1, task 1. I faced one issue. I have discussed, already done. So I have completed when you completed a task. I have discussed when you have already discussed. I have discussed with the lead, and I am currently working on the fix suggested by the lead. This is if you already discussed with the lead. Let's say you are planning to discuss. I am working on feature 1, task 1. I am facing one issue. I am going to discuss, I am planning to discuss with our lead based on his availability. A lot of people, what I have noticed, will only say that I am going to discuss with the lead. I am planning to discuss with the lead. But when? Because when you are facing an issue, if that issue is not resolved, you cannot proceed. So definitely the next question from your manager will be, or whoever is the lead will be in that meeting, when are you going to discuss? So it is always important to use these additional terms so that they don't cross question you and create more pressure, because stand-up is a place where everybody will be there. So it will be always good if you say, I am facing this issue. I am planning to discuss with the lead based on his availability. Or let's say you are facing some issue 30 minutes before the stand-up, and your lead has told you, let's discuss at 3 o'clock. Basically, what you need to do in this scenario, you need to tell them, I am working on feature 1, task 1. I am facing one issue. I have discussed with the lead for his availability. Post stand-up at 3 o'clock, we are going to discuss on this issue and proceed further. Simple, right? You have already discussed with him and he told you will do it later. So I have already discussed with the lead for what? For his availability to discuss this issue. He has told that he is available at 3 o'clock after the stand-up. So post stand-up, we are going to discuss the issue. And a good habit is, in the stand-up, you should always highlight what is the issue that you are facing. You should not say, I am facing one issue, but what is the issue you are facing, at least in a one line. And you should always, it is important that you approach your lead even before you go there. Reason is, if there is some issue, let's say you have some issue. If you already approach your lead, you explain the issue to your lead, there is a good chance that your manager will ask the lead on what is the issue, why the issue had come. But if you did not approach anybody, the entire responsibility is on you. So either you have complete clarity on what is the issue, or it is better you already reach out to your lead on what is the issue, because he will be thinking about it. There is a good chance when there is an issue, people will refer to the seniors because they will have more clarity on it. So what is important here is, if you have any issue or if you have any blocker, please reach out to people even before the stand-up. Please don't wait till the stand-up. Even before the stand-up, please reach out to people and say the update in a good way. Like what you have done the entire course of events. Like, I have tried to fix this issue, but I could not fix this issue. So this is the issue, and I have discussed with the lead, and lead told that this is his available time. So we are going to connect then and we are going to discuss on it. Give a good stand-up update. Just don't say issue, because the important thing is, if you are working on something, it is okay, because there is an estimate, there is a timeline for everything. If you are working on it simply, what is the impression manager is going to get? Manager is going to think, okay, they are working on it, there is a good timeline, 3 days they will complete it. But when there is an issue, which means that this timeline might get extended, which is not actually good. So it is better to always maintain clarity whenever there is an issue. So basically, this is how a proper or a good stand-up update could be, and if you are having any issue. So now let us see few scenarios. Like, there will be some level of cross-questioning in the stand-up, because it's not like you only say your update and manager will be like, okay. No, manager also will ask you a few things. There will be some cross-questioning. Let's take few scenarios and see what is a good way to handle these scenarios. So first thing, let us say you are working on something. We are working in agile projects mostly, and the primary aim of agile project is to take constructive feedback, to make changes in small iterations. So the concept of estimates, feature estimates, task estimates, it's really important. So there is a good chance whenever there is a new feature being added, new task being added, that your manager or your lead will ask you how much time will it take. Let's say you are working on one task. Now there is another task that has come up. So we want to see whether these two tasks will fit in the same sprint or not. So who is going to work on these two tasks? You are going to work on these two tasks. Who need to give the estimate? You need to give the estimate. So there is a good chance you are working on this task. You say the estimate is 3 days. Now another task came up. Your manager will ask you, what is the time that you think this task is going to take? But The problem is most of the time, unless and until you analyze something, you cannot come up with an estimate for any task. You need to do some level of analysis, because the biggest issue is you say 3 days of estimate, manager says okay 3 days. Later, if there is more work involved which you did not do proper analysis, either you should work overtime or your estimate will be missed. It will go to 5 days. Who is getting negative impression over here? Means who is becoming bad? You. If you miss your estimate, you are going to become bad, because okay, you can tell me, I'm going to tell to the manager what is the issue. Then they will ask you, why didn't you analyze it during your analysis and your estimate? So in order to avoid all these things, estimates are the most important thing. And sprint planning, project estimation, task estimation is an entirely different topic, and how to handle it, and how the planning poker is done, how you give the Fibonacci series estimates, efforts is a different thing, entirely different thing, which we will definitely discuss in a different video on how to handle when the estimates are different between you and your lead or you and your teammates, how you can gracefully handle. Let's discuss that in a different video. But the aim of this video is to, the aim of this topic is to tell you, when they ask you for an estimate, if you are clear enough that, okay, this task, okay, I am aware of it, it is going to take 3 days. It is going to take 3 days. Future. Right? The estimate is going to be about the future work. It is going to take 3 days, or it might take 3 days. Let's say you are not clear on the estimate. So how you can handle this? A good way would be not to say, I'm not sure. That is bad. I'll look into it. That is also bad. I'm not sure at this moment. That is also bad. You should give a good sentence. You are in a stand-up where everyone is observing you. Remember, stand-up, most important thing, everyone is observing you. Today, you are working with this lead, but there are 2 more leads in the stand-up. The way you behave with this lead will create an impression between the other 2 leads. Tomorrow, when you need to work with them, if you create a good impression in the stand-up, everyone is comfortable with you, friendly with you, you are giving a good stand-up update, proper way you are communicating, then those 2 leads, when they need to work with you, they feel comfortable. Even before they work with you, oh, he doesn't communicate properly. He doesn't tell the issues. How can we resolve the issues? If you create this kind of an impression, even before they start working with you, it is going to be difficult. The rapport is important. The friendliness is important. See, most important thing, when you have an issue, people around should help you. When will they help you? When you are friendly, when you are speaking nicely, when you are communicating nicely, when you are working nicely. That is the reason stand-up is the most important thing. Don't think that I'm working only with this one person. These 2 people I'm not working, so why I should be bothered? You will be switching teams every now and then. So these 2 people in future you are going to work, who knows? So if you have a good impression with these 2 people as well, when you go to them, they will treat you very nicely. Coming back to this topic, so how to tell when you are not aware, like when you are not sure of the estimate. I'm not sure at this moment. Some more analysis is needed from my side in order to come up with an estimate. I'll do it after the stand-up and I'll get back to you. Simple. You are telling that you need to do some analysis, and then you are also promising that I will do that and I will get back to you. I will tell you how much time it will take. Just give me some time. Instead of just saying that I don't know, I'm not sure at this moment, I'll get back to you. You should tell that some analysis is needed to be done, and that analysis I'm going to do, and I'm going to get back to you with that proper estimate. So this is another scenario. And now coming to a different scenario, most important thing, why is work getting delayed, right? This is a very common thing. You see, it's not possible every single time that when you give an estimate, you can give the perfect estimate. No. Internally, there can be many issues. Nobody knows. On the high level, when you see, you might say, not for everywhere, not for every scenario, but most of the scenarios on the high level, when you see, you can say that, okay, this task takes 3 days. But when you dig into it, means when you start working on it, internally you might find some issue because of your changes, or internally there can be an existing issue which you might have found. So this creates some delay than your estimates, and this is the most important thing where you need to know how to communicate. You should express. If it is an existing issue, you should express it in one way. If it is an issue created because of your code, there is a certain way to express it. So let's say, why is your work getting delayed? Let's take one scenario. Let's take a scenario where you identify the issue in the code. There is already an existing issue and you just found it. If somebody asks you, why is there an issue in the code? When your manager asks you, why is the work getting delayed? The good way to tell, which I feel, is that we have identified one issue. If we fix this issue, take an extra day and deliver to QA or deliver to testing team, there is a good chance that our feature will be defect free, because testing team, when they test it, there is a very good chance they are going to find this issue. So what is the point of giving them when we already know it is an issue? So if you know that there is an issue, just highlight it, tell them the reason why we are fixing this issue. We are fixing this issue so that we can give a defect-free product. But at the same time, who should make this decision? Not the developer. We should not make the decision. We are just the developer. We should always give importance to our seniors. We should ask our lead. We should ask the manager. Manager, we have found one issue. If we fix this issue, there is 2 days of extra effort. Then we can give to testing team. There will not be any kind of an issue. Means there will not be any kind of known bugs. So do you think it would be better if we fix this issue and then deliver to testing team? Or do we want to deliver it as it is and take that as a separate defect? You are giving priority to the manager. You are giving priority to seniors. That is also important. Sometimes individuality is important. Taking decision is important, but what is more important is, in the decision that you are taking, you consult the seniors, you give them importance because they are seniors, they know more about the project, they are in a position to make the decision. We should come up with the decision, but you should take the solution from them, suggestion from them. Even though you feel we'll fix this issue and deliver, just ask them. I think you should learn to convince them. I think if we fix this issue, we can get a good defect-free product given to QA with 0 bugs. If you tell like this, which manager is going to say no? But simply if you say, we should fix this issue and give, but what is the point of fixing this issue? So whatever you are saying, always have a justification. Always explain them, even though it takes a sentence or 2 extra. Always tell them what is the importance of doing this task, why you should do this task. That is what makes you a better person. That is what makes you a good, like a friendly person. If you give clarity to them, if you are not able to fix this issue, maybe they are aware of that issue, they can explain you. Clarity is very most important. It is okay to make mistakes. See, it is not like nobody is going to make mistakes. Everybody is going to make mistakes. People are there to help each other. So be clear. If you are not able to fix it, I am not able to fix it. Let's say you are not able to write some logic. Can you please suggest what to do or how to do? But you should not ask this thing in a stand-up. You should ask in a personal chat. I'm not able to identify or understand what to do. Can you please suggest? So these terms, kind words are really important. And once again, I'm telling you, don't lag your stand-up update. I've seen some people. Actually, I am working on this. Actually, I am facing one issue. Actually, I need to discuss. There is no confidence in this update. I am working on task 1. I am facing one issue. I am yet to discuss with the lead. Post stand-up, I am going to discuss with the lead and we are going to proceed further. There is confidence, which means you have clarity. Once you start saying, actually, I am working on this and actually this issue is not yet resolved. I am not very sure how to fix this issue. I am going to discuss with the lead. There is no confidence in what you are saying. This gives an impression where you are not confident about the issue. You are not clear about the issue. You are tensed in your words. So this is something you should avoid. So most important thing, your stand-up update, very most important. Don't lag your stand-up update. It's okay to have a big stand-up update, but most important thing, you should not break, because what you say shows your confidence. How you say shows your clarity. So that's it in this video. So I wish you have learned something useful in this video. So if you have learned anything in this video, like which is helpful for you or useful for you, please do try to like this video. If you're new to the channel, please do try to subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching.